The end of unit, maybe I think the remaining verses we try to cover 21st chapter. So we'll go ahead from chapter 22. So we'll just see the overview. Initially, we'll see the overview of what we are. So we are in the wonderful section. Of course, everything is wonderful. Srimad Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam itself is wonderful. That's why it's called Srimad. Very beautiful Bhagavatam. But what we can relate according to our connection, according to our understanding. So Prithu Maharaj section is very, very inspiring, connecting, and many lessons, more of a devotional kind of approach. Because fifth canto is little more on whole creation aspects comes into picture. Creation, how everything is created, the primary creation, secondary creation. Of course, the whole canto, second, third, fourth are compared to creation and subcreation. The two aspects of 10 aspects. Atta sarga visargasya tano poshanamutayah. So all this second canto, the verse which speaks about 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam, the second, third, fourth cantos deal with secondary creation. So then, of course, first and secondary creations, basically, Sarga and Visarga. Fifth canto starts with Sthana. That's why all the planetary systems is spoken. Of course, fifth canto, at least till 14, 15 chapters, it will be more of the personalities. But the creation aspects comes in after 15 planetary systems. So, but here in fourth canto, secondary creation, and also those who are rulers, their ruling and their conduct is explained here in this fourth canto. And also while explaining that subcreation, their personalities are also explained. So the Prithu Maharaj, the whole section is coming here. How he was the son of Vena, Prithu Maharaj born from the Vena's body, and before that Anga was spoken. So all this lineage of Dhruva Maharaj is being spoken here. So Prithu Maharaj is very well known devotee of Lord Vishnu, and his great wonderful ruling and his characteristics and personality. So some of the qualities, his personality were explained in the chapter 21. You are well aware, but just to have the overview, just 2 minutes seeing these what all sections went through in fourth canto, 21st chapter. So citizens welcomes Prithu Maharaj. After that, so then Maitreya describes the rule and bodily features and speech of the Prithu Maharaj. Especially Sukadeva Maharaj is very much describing Prithu Maharaj in detail, because the personality is generally, when a personality is very, very devoted to Lord Vishnu, he also exhibits wonderful qualities. So the more the personality is devoted to Vishnu or Krishna as a devotee, he exhibits more and more wonderful qualities. So in describing them also, it becoming Sukadeva Goswami's more and more details is explaining. So then instructions of Prithu Maharaj to citizens. He gave many, many instructions to all citizens. What is the duty, how to perform the duty. So this is a part of that section where Prithu Maharaj is giving instructions to citizens. And then he establishes, glorifies how these Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, they are head. Generally in the body system, head is given importance. Definitely all the parts are legs, belly, arms and head compared to the society of Varna and Ashram, Shudra, Vaishyas, and then Kshatriyas and Brahmanas. So the head is given more importance. So that's why he glorifies, establishes the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. And then now citizens are praising Prithu Maharaj. Citizens themselves are praising. Of course, these chapters are a little longer, but many verses are there in each chapter, Prithu Maharaj section. Also, Sukadeva Goswami is releasing, even describing Prithu Maharaj. So, when citizens are praising Prithu Maharaj, that time some special thing happened. So, Prithu Maharaj addressed citizens and he mentioned that how I am just ruling on behalf of the Supreme Lord. I have taken the orders of Supreme Lord on my head, trying to execute those orders. So, please cooperate with me. So, that's what he's instructing to citizens. And now, citizens are also praising his wonderful qualities. So, while praising, what happened? In between, something happened wonderful. So that's how this chapter starts with. 22nd starts with. So generally, if we see, if let us suppose if an assembly is there, just like in King Indra was glorified by his all his attendants, all his ministers, etc., etc. One day it happened that King Indra was being glorified by all the personalities who are subordinate to him. Devatas were glorifying him. And suddenly, Brihaspati entered into assembly. So after when Brihaspati entered, because of that glorification done by subordinates, King Indra was in different state. He was mesmerized. He was into different state. He could not notice only what happened. Brihaspati came and just waited for a few minutes and left. After Brihaspati went, then King Indra was Indra came to senses and Are, what happened? Are, my speech master came and went. I could not even recognize. I didn't even welcome him. I didn't acknowledge him. So then the whole story happens. How he offended. So this comes in the Vritrasura section. That's how it comes in I think 6 canto, where the how the demons becomes quite strong by pleasing the spiritual master, and then they attack the Indra, and then everything whole pastime happens. How he was defeated, Indra was defeated. The whole section starts with this incident. How Indra was little intoxicated by the glorification of these subordinates. So here also, but we see quite contrast here. Prithu Maharaj has been glorified by his as the last chapter ends with that section. I don't know. I think those verses may be remaining. But after those instructions to citizens, the citizens are glorifying Prithu Maharaj, his rule, his qualities, his extraordinary power, his ruling, etc. So that time happens that there's some great personalities are coming. So what happened that time, we'll see in the initial section of this 22nd chapter. So what happened when they came and how he received them and what all the conversation. So we will see in this chapter. So the first 16 verses talks about Prithu's rule, reception of the Kumaras and inquiries from them. So initially just explained about the reception of the Kumaras, the rarity of the great souls, and that's how Mahaseva topic comes here. How he welcomed them, how he received them, glorified them, and asking questions. Tadviti pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya upatekshanti te jnanam jnaninastatvadarshana. That's for spiritual master. At the same time, it also applies to great souls. How one should receive great souls. how one should associate with great souls. What is meant by association of great souls? So how to receive them, to associate with them, how to benefit from them. So that is all spoken in the first section, 1 to 16. Maybe we'll try to see today. I think it's already 3 o'clock, but we'll try to see some maybe part of the section. So then Sant Kumar, of the four, of course, who came? Four Kumaras came. Of them, Sanat Kumara answers Prithu Kumara's questions in detail. So that is the next section. And then Prithu Kumara's praises Kumaras. And then finally, Prithu Kumara's glorious rule and qualities are explained.
Prabhuji, can I ask one question, Prabhu?
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu, for explaining many things about this section. This four Kumaras, Prabhu, they always appear together. Just like Navayogendras always appear together, and many such they are together. But any specific qualities about each Kumara separately, just wanted to know if it is.
I also didn't come across as of now. See, each Kumara's separate qualities. They are considered one unit, just like Naranaran Rishi is considered one unit of doing tapasya. I also specifically never came across each of them separately different qualities. But if we come to know, surely I'll try to send across. I also try to find out. But as of now, in Bhagavatam also, or in any other literature, specifically, I didn't read anything for Kumaras. Okay, sorry for that.
Nothing, sorry, Prabhu. I just wanted to know if there is, because we don't know.
Yeah, sure. Sanat Kumaras. So these four Kumaras, well known. So, but only Bhagavatam has only a small section where how they took birth from Brahmaji's meditation and how they disobeyed and all little come. Prabhupada explains a little bit, but not in details exactly here. Okay, so then that's how this whole section ends with interaction between Prithu Maharaj and four Kumaras. That is the main topic of this chapter. Okay, so the first section, let us see the first section, Prithu Maharaj's reception. First 6 verses talking about Prithu's exemplary reception of Kumaras. So while the glorification is going on, so the Kumaras wanted to associate with Prithu Maharaj. That was their desire. Seeing the Prithu Maharaj glory, they also wanted to associate with him. That is also another aspect of Prithu Maharaj glory, that even Kumaras were attracted to Prithu's. He wanted to have have his association. That's why they came to see and how he received and how he was glorifying them, rarity of darshan of the great souls, and then fortunate and unfortunate householders, in the sense who receive great souls, who doesn't receive, who can receive, who can't receive, and how to receive, etc. This whole section is about Mahat Seva, reception, Mahat Seva, the Sadhu Sangha, the reception aspects. So then some questions about, no need to ask about welfare of Atma Ramas, like you, he was mentioning, Prithu Maharaj mentioning. No need to ask anything. How are you? How is your health and all? Definitely they are also good to ask. But especially for great souls, you may not ask. That's what mentioned here. But he was asking question, how to benefit people in world, especially those who are suffering in this world. What means will there be benefit for suffering people? Everybody is suffering. Just like Parikshit Maharaj was asking the questions, 2 questions. what are the duties in general, and especially the person who is going to die. And here also, especially people who are suffering, everybody is suffering in this world. That's a fact. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanudarshanam. Krishna is mentioning that one should always contemplate all these sufferings. So he asks the question, then they reply in the next section. From 17 onwards, they starts. So he also glorifying the four Kumaras in a way that you are all manifestation of Supreme Lord. Even in fact, Lord only travels all around the world in the form of Siddharupis. Siddharupi Charatyajaha, Ajaha, the Supreme Lord Aja. Siddharupi, in the form of Siddharupi Charati, he travels all over the world. So he's glorifying them in terms of Lord only. You are Lord. You are not different from the Lord. So that's how he glorifies the four Kumaras. Okay. So this is about the section. We will go through the section now. Okay, we'll read at least till 13, 14, 15, 16, I think. Okay, we'll read first translation at least to have the sum. Okay, we'll start with this reading the summary. Please read someone till 6 verses. Summary 1 to 6.
1 to 6. Prithvi's exemplary reception of the Kumaras. The Kumaras arrived. While the citizens were praising Prithu Maharaj, the four Kumaras, who were as bright as the sun, arrived there. Seeing their effulgence, Prithu and others could recognize who they were as they descended from the sky. 3. Eagerness to receive. Thus the king and the citizens immediately got up to receive them with the eagerness of a conditioned soul attracted to sense objects. 4 to 5. Exemplary reception. Prithu, with shoulders lowered in humility, offered them seats, worshipped them according to the scriptures, washed their feet, and sprinkled that water over his head. Thus he showed how to receive a seat with respect and restraint. Shraddha Sanyama. Prithu then began speaking with the four Kumaras who were seated on the golden throne.
Yeah. So thank you. So then the other section continues that he glorifies praising the Kumaras and inquiring from them. We will come back into this section. Here we'll see some part of the purport. So yeah, as we read, this is the citizens praised Prithu Maharaj. While citizens praised Prithu Maharaj, the four effulgent Kumaras descended from the sky, and the king and his officers worshipped them with great respect. Prithu Maharaj took the water from their foot bath on his head. Prithu glorified the Kumaras as best of the Brahmanas, experienced in liberation and in celibacy as the best of the Brahmanas, experienced in liberation and in celibacy, although appearing as small children. He asked them how those desiring only sense gratification could be blessed with good fortune. He praised them as being traveling manifestations of the Lord for the purpose of elevating the Lord's part and parcel living entities. So this is this section basically. So Prithu Maharaj's reception and respect, we can say. He received and respected them by glorifying them and also inquiring about living entities. Okay, we'll start with the first verse. Maitreya Uvacha. So because these are all very long sections, maybe we can read together verses, otherwise it will take a little time. Maitreya Uvacha. Janeshu pragruणस्त्वेवम् ऋतुं ऋतुलविक्रमं तत्रोपजग्मुनयश्चत्वारः सूर्यवर्चसः. Okay, retranslation.
The great while the citizen thus praying to the most powerful king Prithu, the four Kumaras who were as bright as the sun arrived on the spot.
They were as bright as sun arrived on the spot. As we discussed how Prithu Maharaj, just like King Indra, he was not like Indra. He was not intoxicated by that glorification. So he was not at all intoxicated by glorification. Rather, he is in connection with the Lord. Because he could connect with the Lord, that's why he was not intoxicated by the glorification. Generally, when people are glorifying us, we don't connect to previous acharyas or Prabhupada. Generally, I am saying about myself. It's quite difficult to remember the great contribution of the great souls in my life. In fact, it is their only mercy, right? No? So that's how even Acharya sing, Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings. When we try to meditate on our qualification, it's only mercy of great souls. That's what he sings in one of the Gurudev Kripa Bindya song. He says final stanza, things like that. So yeah, when we are in touch with, or when we are connecting to the previous acharyas, we can pass it on the glorification. So when the blessings comes, we should be the channel to the blessings coming from top and going towards those who are trying to depend on us or those who are subordinates. That kind of a flow should be there. But any prizes or any glorification or anything coming from the bottom, it has to go to the top. So like that, we need to try to mold our life. So when we are connected to the top, then we will not become unnecessarily proud, or it may become indigestible thing also. The praise and glorification, when it comes, if we only take, then it becomes an indigestible poison. But the more we pass it on, the more we will be happy and satisfied. So Prithu Maharaj is, because he connected to the Krishna, well in connection with Krishna, immediately he could understand the personalities who are coming, unlike King Indra. So these personalities are glorified like sun. So they travel with sun. So when we are with sun, there is no darkness. Right? All darkness because of we are not in the sunshine. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Hayandaka. So wherever Krishna is there, there is no kind of any darkness. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Hayandaka. Jahan Krishna Tahan, Ahi Maya Adhikar. So just like example is given that just like when we take lamp arati in temple, when you go to temple in the morning, you might have seen, especially in Mangalarati, those who carry the lamp, right? Especially those who carry the lamp in the darkness in the Mangalarati, there is no lights in the temple hall. Especially those who are carrying the lamp, they are shining with brightness. Like that, when we have association of the devotees, we will also shine. The shining is not because of my own glory. Shine is because of I'm carrying in the heart, the great souls and their instructions, their words, etc. That's the glory of me. So, yeah, saintly order should not get covered over by darkness. They should be always shining because they are connected to their superiors. So that's how they should shine. They are connected with Shastra, they should be connected with their superiors. So they should be shining. Everyone also. So the forest path, generally if we don't, the forest path gets covered over rainy season. So we need to keep always in touch with the spiritual personalities. Then only we will be shining. Otherwise, we will be get covered over. It's like path is covered over by the grass or all. We don't know even what happened. It's like if you see NVCC behind, there is a hill is there, small hill. In rainy season, everything will be greenery. But in summer, everything will dried up. So in forest path also, if the path is there, if it is in rainy season, everything will be covered over. So the more we walk on the spiritual touch, the more we walk the path again, it shows up. The spiritual touch we have to always in spiritual touch every day morning, every day program. At least try to have some kind of morning program. If you are unable to go to temple every day, some kind of regulation has to be there. So that will dissipate the darkness. So that's mentioned. Of course, in Ila Gita, Krishna explains the glory of saints. He compares there also. They are like sun, they are like fire, they are like boat. Even spiritual master is also compared to boat. I mean, sorry, he's like a captain of the boat. Boat is compared to human body. Spiritual master is compared to the captain of the boat. So that's how many examples are given in regards to spiritual personalities. Krishna explains in 11th canto, 26th chapter, uh, how one should associate with them, how their words are like swords. So they will cut down all the unnecessary attachment to the material world. So that is the glorification of the Vaishnavas, and especially sadhus are glorified here. Okay, text 2. So what happened then how they could recognize all the glorification is going on, Prithu Maharaj is there, citizens are there, but it's not that these four Kumaras were visiting quite often. If first time they are coming, how could they recognize is spoken here? Tamstu Siddheshwaran Raja Vyumno Avatar Avatarato Archisha Lokanapa Lokanapapan Purvanan Sanubo Chashtalakshitam. The translation.
Seeing the glowing presence of the four Kumaras, the masters of power, the king and his associates could recognize them as they descended from the sky.
Seeing their glowing effulgence, the quality is glowing effulgence by seeing Lakshita, by seeing them, by seeing their effulgence, Achisha, by their glaring effulgence, they could recognize that these are the four personalities. So Siddheshwara. So symptoms generally are seen to recognize. Some symptoms are there. Prabhupada talks about symptoms of a spiritual person in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 54th, where Siddhapragya Saka Bhasha Samadhistisha Keshava Siddhadhim Kim Prabhasheta Kimasita Pracheta Kim. So there he talks about symptoms of a spiritual person or Krishna conscious person. He beautiful purport he writes that how there are symptoms of each person. So many symptoms he talks. So he speaks in general also, this purport, 2.54 Gita. As there are symptoms for each and every man in terms of his particular situation. Similarly, one who is Krishna conscious has his particular nature. Nature or symptoms. Talking, walking, thinking, feeling. So we need to exercise this also. What is ideal Vaishnava, Vaishnavi, talking and walking and thinking and feeling, etc., etc. So we need to understand the symptoms and try to practice them. So practicing also, the way we practice, then we can reach that state also. They also manifest at the same time. We need to practice them also. So as a rich man has symptoms by which he is known as rich. A diseased man has his own symptoms. So learned man has his own symptoms. Similarly, a Krishna conscious person has his own specific symptoms. How he deals, how he talks, how he feels, how he thinks. Everything is it's not just mechanical. It's not a mechanical way of trying to do, but that's the perfect stage when one is advancing. How he behaves, how he feels, how he thinks. Many verses, many sections we can try to see and understand. So the more we can the more we are advancing, the more we need to see these symptoms and qualities in us. That means we are advancing. There is also one check. So the more we can practice those symptoms only to manifest them. As like Prabhupada mentioned one time, one disciple was mentioning, Prabhupada, I'm not feeling to offer obeisances when I see you. Prabhupada mentioned, don't worry, you just offer obeisances. And then the time will come when you feel to offer obeisances. Feeling may come a little later. First you act, thinking, feeling, and willing. Definitely the acting at the final level. Internally one may not feel initially, but at least the activity should be there. Slowly, internals may change. Internals, thinking, feeling will slowly will manifest. Right now we don't have great attraction towards chanting or devotees, association, all spiritual aspects. But still, an external levels we are doing, activities we are doing, spiritual activities we are doing. So there are forms, there are activities and attitudes. Forms, activities, and then attitudes. So these things will slowly will manifest. Internal things will manifest little slowly, but at least we should start with externals. Form means we are having dhoti kurta, tilak, or some traditional dresses, and activities of a devotee. Form of a devotee, tilak, bead bag. Activities of a devotee, we are doing offering to the Lord, chanting the holy names, following four great principles, etc. Activities of a devotee. And then attitudes, internal attitudes. So these are finer and finer, gross to subtle. So just like Putana has the form of a devotee or a Brajavasi. Brajavasi. Putana had the form of a Brajavasi. In the form of a gopi, she came. Activity of a Yashoda, she was trying to feed Krishna. But attitude was little different. So Yashoda and Putana, apparently for that time, Putana also had that kind of form of a Brajavasi, activity of a Brajavasi. But attitudes are different. So similarly, we may have form of a devotee, activities of devotee, but we also internally we try to refine more and more attitudes of a devotee. So this is our task. So Prabhupada mentioned, oh, you do at least the activities. At least you have form first. Activities you do. And then slowly the feelings and internal things will refine more. So that's what Prabhupada is mentioning in this purport, that the symptoms we need to manifest as a devotee. So what is the main symptom of a devotee? Prabhupada speaks here. So it is said that a fool is undiscovered as long as it doesn't speak. And certainly a well-dressed fool cannot be identified unless he speaks. But as soon as he speaks, he reveals himself at once. The immediate symptom of a Krishna conscious man is that he speaks only of Krishna and of matters related to him. Other symptoms then automatically follow. So he speaks of Krishna. He speaks of Krishna. Not only he speaks of Krishna, he thinks of Krishna and he acts for Krishna. So other things will manifest. Other things also will slowly come about. But one should, but main symptom Prabhupada is trying to bring out is that we try to think of Krishna, then it automatically comes in the words of Krishna, then acts of Krishna will come. So we also, in both ways it goes, thinking, speaking and acting. Another way also we can try. We should act for Krishna. Then we try to speak about Krishna. Then internally also, we slowly think of Krishna more and more. Not only in wake-up times, even in sleep times also. So, so I want just to have a light thought that chanting while sleeping is wonderful. Right now, that is a great advanced stage. Chanting while sleeping is good, and it's a great advancement. But sleeping while chanting is not recommended. So that's a great advancement. Chanting while sleeping. Prabhupada used to even chant while sleeping, even noted by his disciples, how Prabhupada even chanting while sleeping. So that's a very, very advanced stage that we have seen one viral video of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, how he was doing worship while he was sleeping. So such an amazing perfected stage, Siddha, Siddha Purush. So that is a very high level, chanting while sleeping, and doing some devotional activities while sleeping. At least when we are wake up, we should do chanting. And while chanting, we should not sleep. At least endeavor to. So these practices, the more we try to start and practice, then we try to absorb more internally. Then once you activities for Krishna, then we speak of Krishna, then we think of Krishna more and more. These are the main symptoms of a devotee. That's what Prabhupada is trying to. The verse itself is saying that they saw the symptoms of the personalities and they would recognize these are the great souls. The Prabhupada writing here that these four Kumaras or Siddheshwaras had achieved all yogic perfectional achievements. And as such, they could travel in outer space without machines. Prabhupada was bringing another point of mysticism and trying to connect to the modern technologies, etc., etc. Okay. Hmm. So, yeah, can someone read this point?
However, the spiritual power of the Kumaras mentioned here is that whatever place they went to would immediately become sinless. During the reign of Maharaj Prithu, everything on the surface of the globe was sinless, and therefore the Kumaras decided to see the king. Ordinarily, they do not go to any planet which is sinful.
So here one more point. Symptom is explained. One more point is they went places. This is Acharya's comment. There is no direct indication in the verse itself. Right now, there is no direct indication that about sin or etc. etc. Acharya's comment that why they went to Prithu Maharaj, because he's a great devotee and he's without any in his kingdom there is no sin at all. So just like Parikshit Maharaj, he could keep the Kali at bay. Parikshit Maharaj in kingdom, four regulative principles were practically nil. He could check the Kali. We have read in first canto. So that's how Prithu Maharaj section also. Prithu Maharaj ruling also. He was perfectly following the orders of the Lord. So there was no sin at all. So that's how they are attracted to Prithu Maharaj. Not just because of sin, not just because of they are sinless, but they are more devoted to the Lord. So these two are different things. Piety and devotion. Of course, you all know piety and material piety and devotion is different things. But Prithu Maharaj is more of a devotee. So they also wanted to associate with the devotees. And also it's sinless society. So who are inclined to devotion service more and more. Whatever place they went would immediately become sinless. Yeah, just like sun, wherever it goes, it makes the place very, very pure and sanctified. So similarly, they also want to go to a place where there is no sin. And also, they also, even if they go to a place, the place immediately becomes sinless. Prabhupada mentioning that point also, surface of the globe was sinless. Therefore, they decided to see the king. So then the question can be raised, then why Prabhupada went to a place, such a sinful place? And here, just like Kumaras, they wanted to, ordinarily they do not go to any planet which is sinful. some thoughts can be shared? Why Prabhupada went to a place which is sinful? Generally, they don't, saintly persons, they don't go to a place which is sinful generally. That's why you see all the sampradayas, they have a restriction, injunction, that one should not cross the ocean.
But
You should stay.
Guru Maharaj had ordered him to go and preach in the West.
Very good. Any other thoughts? Someone else? Why Prabhupada went all the way to a sinful place? New York was considered like that time, 60s, 70s, the hub of all sinful activities. No? Hare Krishna.
He went out of compassion.
Out of compassion. Very good. What do you say, Krishna Prabhu, or any other devotee?
Maybe his compassion, Prabhuji. Prabhupada's
Yes.
passion for living entities.
Prabhupada's compassion, as mentioned by other devotees also. Yeah. Prabhupada's compassion, he was, both points are valid, as his spiritual master himself ordered that you should share the message and go to Western countries, because you are all English speaking personalities, learned in English. Should go and share the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in English speaking countries. And Prabhupada's compassion, he is seeing the so-called civilization is bringing only misery, increasing the misery, not just decreasing, not at all decreasing. In fact, it's increasing more and more. So Prabhupada could see so many, 2 world wars that Prabhupada had seen. Can you imagine? 2 world wars in his life. He has seen, and how devastating, how misery it has brought. So Prabhupada was very much convinced about how the spiritual knowledge is the only solution. Krishna consciousness is the only solution. So that's how, though it is a sinful place, but he had great faith in the holy name, that wherever the holy name is chanted, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, that place will be definitely become Vaikuntha. So it immediately becomes sinless. He had that faith in the holy name, power of the holy name. So that's how he traveled. Though it's a sinful place, New York, so he went to New York City, and that's how we could see how transformation is. It is bringing now also, even after long time, after Prabhupada 50 years, 50, more than 50 years. So he traveled to a place which is very sinful, but still he was not touched by the sin. Though many people went, but some could stay as they are. Some could influence the Western people, but not much. But at the same time, they also could not do much in terms of making them sinless. Others, transforming others, they could not do much. But here Prabhupada was very much in effect, because he had that power of holy name. He had conviction in the holy names, and he could do it. So in regard to sinful place and sins, what Prabhupada is, regarding Prabhupada, there was a very wonderful incident happened. I mean, when he opened Hyderabad temple, so this was incident happened when he was opening Hyderabad temple. There was South Indian Brahmanas came and installed the deities, Radha Madar Mohan. So during that time, there was one Bhattacharya, Kumar Bhattacharya was there, was coordinating everything, the installation, rituals, etc. And Prabhupada told he is very, very authentic South Indian Brahman. And we can, of course, later on he invited to Vrindavan also for overseeing the installation. So Sampath Kumar Bhattacharya had good relation with Prabhupada that time. And Sampath Kumar Bhattacharya came to know that in upcoming temples, the Prabhupada Murti is going to be installed in front of the altar. So because he had good knowledge of Shastra, Vedic understanding, then he understood if a person, when he is living, if one installs the deity as a Murti, then it's a very, very, very troublesome, very dangerous in the sense that people come and offer prayers, touch his feet, and so then the sins will transfer from the people to him because he's living now. So that's because of this concern and knowing the fact that it will happen to him, to Prabhupada. So having a concern, he personally flew from Bangalore to, I think, Mumbai. Mumbai he went when Prabhupada was there in Mumbai. So he went with his personal expenses in 1970s. Installed, Hyderabad was installed in 76. It was installed, Prabhupada installation ceremony was done in 76. I think maybe that year or maybe the next year. So he went to Mumbai and he met Prabhupada and he was explaining. See, Prabhupada, according to scriptures, I mean, definitely you know all the scriptures, and these things will definitely will bring a great difficulty for you in your physical health because much of karma people come and talk and prayers, offer many things and touch your feet, and it will not be good for you. All the sins will come to you. Then Prabhupada mentioned, okay, then what do you think? Why I came here for? So that was the only question Prabhupada asked him. Okay, you're saying that sins will come to me and all the sufferings will come to me. Oh, what do you think? Why I came here? Why I started this movement for? So that was the question. That's it. With that question only, the Sampath Kumar Bhattacharya became alarmed, amazed, and surprised. And he was very much touched by Prabhupada's compassion, Prabhupada's dedication, determination. So then he offered his dandavats and circumambulated 3 times and we went from there. And later on, he also overseen the ceremony of Vrindavan. So in 77. So that's how we can see that how Prabhupada was ready to take all kinds of sins for all of our sake. Even now also spiritual masters it is said that how in the initiation ceremony, the spiritual master is taking all sins from the disciples. That's how sometimes the spiritual master may become very, very sick after initiations. So here mentioned about the great souls, how they travel, why they travel all over the globe. So that is mentioned here. Both they travel to a place, even though it is sinful place, just to show compassion, to deliver all people who are just absorbed in sinful activities. To deliver them, they go. By going there, the place itself becomes sinless. It becomes Vaikuntha. So Prabhupada made certain places which are very, very sinful all over the world. He made them into Vaikunthas. As he mentions that my temples are beyond the modes. They are Vaikuntha, they are spiritual world itself. Embassies of spiritual world. That's how the temples are supposed to be also. Yes. Yeah, that's what the main point here, that the Kumaras coming to Ritu Maharaj because the kingdom itself is a sinless place, and even Even if they travel, that place itself becomes sinless, both ways. So all glories to Shamars and all great souls. So next verse. So how they are received now? How Prithu Maharaj is receiving them? Taddarshanotgatan pranan pratyadishtur sa sadasyanugo vainya indriyesho gunaniva. This is translation.
Seeing the four Kumaras, Vishnu Maharaj was greatly anxious to receive them. Therefore the king with all his officers very hastily got up, as anxiously as a conditioned soul whose senses are immediately attracted by the modes of material nature.
So the analogy is very much apt to understand how a person who is conditioned nature, like me, who is attracted to sense objects, senses are attracted to sense objects. So without knowing also they are attracted. Similarly, Guru Maharaj was attraction as same attraction. So that's how a spiritual advancement can be seen in the terms. So how we are attracted to sense objects. Like that, a pure devotee attracts towards spiritual objects. In that way, the analogy is given. Prabhupada mentions about that point. As such, the conditioned soul is attracted to certain types of activity which he is forced to perform because he is completely under the influence of more material nature. As if he is forced, as if he is just attracted without his free will, as if we don't have any free will. That's how we feel sometimes, many a times. But the opposite thing happens for pure devotees. So even Bhaktivinoda Thakur also sings in the same lines. So the attachment is not condemned, but attachment to wrong things is condemned. Vishaye ye priti ye be achaye ama sei mata priti hoka charane toma prabhu tava pada yuge morani veda nahi magi deha sukha vidyadhanaja. Bhaktivinoda sings that Vishaya Priti Ebe, just as I have attachment to sense objects, Vishaya Priti Ebe Achaya Amar, Seimata Priti Hoka Charane Tomar, let it the same attachment and attraction be towards your lotus feet, my dear Lord, not towards any other way. So attachment is not condemned, but the vector and scalar in technical terms, in academic terms, there is a vector and scalars. So the scalar is magnitude is same, but let the direction be changed. So that's how we need to transform that attachment towards material things to spiritual things. That happens by association of great souls. So that's what is mentioned here. So just like we are attracted to, like I'm attracted to all kinds of sense objects immediately. The same attachment should happen towards the great souls, spiritual things. We need to slowly, though we don't have now, or we are in the process. Syat Krishna Nama Charita Sitapta Vidya Pitto Pataptara Sanasya Narochikanu Kintu Adarat Anudinam Kalusaiva Justva Swadikramad Bhavati Tatkata Mulahantri. Kintu Adarat, with great respect, Anudinam, regularly, one should keep on chanting, dancing, taking prasad, associating with great souls. Then Kalusaiva Justva Swadikramad Bhavati Tatkata Mulahantri. Gradually the taste will come towards this wonderful spiritual activities. We'll be attracted to Bhagavatam, attracted to hearing, reading, worshipping the Lord, waking up early in the mornings, or whatever. All the spiritual activities. Yes. So, so that's how we need to see our advancement in terms of attraction, how we are very much attracted. Yes. Prabhupada writing here that giving similar lines, how regarding this attraction is speaking here. Please read. Read from here, this para. Anyone else?
Prithu Maharaj, in the same way, could not restrain himself from receiving the four Kumaras, who were bright by dint of their spiritual progress, and thus not only he himself, but also his officers and associates, all received the four Kumaras. It is said, birds of a feather flock together. In this world, everyone is attracted by a person of the same category. A drunkard is attracted to persons who are also drunkards. Similarly, a saintly person is attracted by other saintly persons. Prithu Maharaj was in the topmost position of spiritual advancement, and as such, he was attracted by the Kumaras who were of the same category. It is said, therefore, that a man is known by his company.
So, we are attracted to the same personality. Similarly, because Prithu Maharaj was a great devotee, great attraction towards great souls. So, that's how is expected, is mentioned here. Of course, one point about the symptoms of a devotee when we are speaking, there are external symptoms, there are internal symptoms. So, internal symptoms are more important than external things. Just like we talked about form, activities, etc. So, that statement in English also is there, all the glitters but gold. Means externally it's shining, but it's not gold at all. So, one should be careful about this aspect also. Definitely, by many a times internals are reflected as externals. Face is the index of the mind. So internal things may be expressed as externals also, but sometimes you have to be very careful that all the glitters is not gold. We need to see what is the real symptom of us all, a real symptom of advancement. Sometimes externally we have some symptoms, and just like success, we are being praised, we are glorified. Oh, you are so wonderful speaker, you are wonderful cook, wonderful manager, wonderful grihastha, whatever. Everything is many phrases may come. You are good at that. So the success, external success is not a symptom of internal maturity or internal advancement. That one has to be very careful. In terms of these aspects, one may feel that I'm a wonderful devotee. From last 20 years, I'm practicing chanting Hare Krishna without breaking any four-legged principles and maintaining my family, maintaining ashram. In ashram, I have so many followers, or I'm preaching to so many. I have this and that, this and that. Wonderful, that's good. But what external success may not be, we have to be very cautious, may not be an internal symptom of advancement. I'm a great fundraiser, I'm a great project manager. So one has to be extremely careful also in that symptoms. The symptoms have to be seen, more of internal symptoms has to be seen, advancement symptoms. So when we have the internal symptoms of advancement, then we can attract it towards the personalities who has the internal symptoms. Though externally they may not show that they are great devotees, they can recognize who are great devotees, who are advanced in knowledge, who are advanced in devotion. So these are very, very subtle points as we grow in spiritual life. So that's why Prabhupada mentioning that a drunkard can recognize a drunkard. At the same time, who is advanced devotee can only understand who is a pure devotee. Maybe externally he may not be. It's like Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj and Gaur Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj. By external symptoms, it's very difficult to understand. They are sitting in different places, even nasty places. It's quite difficult to understand who is who. So it's very careful. We need to see that not only external symptoms, but also especially the internal symptoms. That is only known when we are advanced. Just like a person who has some symptoms can be seen, they can understand. It takes it takes one to know one. It is said in English. It takes one to know one. So similarly, a person understands a deep personality, advanced devotee can understand another advanced devotee. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur could understand Gaur Kishore Das Maharaj's position. Yeah. So he also could understand the Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. And there was Vamshi Das Babaji Maharaj was there. One Vamshi Das Babaji Maharaj. I mean, we don't hear much about him, but there is a book also about him. by Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. So Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj was really like a avadut, madman. But Bhaktivedanta Thakur could recognize how is there such an exalted personality. So we are talking about external and both internal symptoms. So we need to be careful about. Yes. So that's how we need to choose association. Letter of instruction you might have read also. I don't know whether you remember that how one should respect the Kanishtadhikaris. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti chet pranatapischa bhajantamisham. Prabhupada says that how one should respect those who are chanting, one should offer obeisances to those who are initiated, and one should associate and serve those who are advanced devotees who don't have the symptom of criticizing, nindadi shunyam, vrutamipsit sangalabdya. All the symptoms we need to try to see, and then we try to associate with them, both external and internal symptoms. So that's how he is attracted. The verse is mentioning how Prithu Maharaj is attracted toward these personalities because he's advanced. He could understand the great personalities. So both external and internal symptoms he was seeing. So yeah, he was attracted to them by seeing them. Let us see how he's inviting them, how he's welcoming them. गौरवाद्यन्त्रित सभ्य प्रश्रियं प्रश्रयान्ता कन्दरः विधिवत् पूजयां चक्रे गृहीताद्यर्हणासनान्. Please read.
Sages accepted their reception according to the instruction of the king, and finally took their seats offered by the king. The king, influenced by the glories of the sages, immediately bowed down. Thus he worshipped the four Kumaras.
So, according to the instructions, others finally took their seats. So he welcomed them, he was attracted to them, he welcomed them. So he just finally took their seats offered by the king. So the king immediately bowed down. Thus he worshipped the four Kumaras. So he welcomed them, he offered the seat. Vidhivat. So basically Prabhupada explaining about how acharyas should be respected. Especially these four Kumaras are like Sampradaya acharyas, and acharyas should be properly respected. Because they are not different from the Lord, as the Vishwanath Thakur quote is mentioned here, Sakshat at 12. Read the Vidhivat. Vidhivat.
The word Vidhivat is significant in this verse. This means that Prithu Maharaj also strictly followed the injunctions of the Shastra in receiving the spiritual master or Acharya of the transcendental disciplic succession. Whenever an Acharya is seen, one should immediately bow down before him. Prithu Maharaj did this properly. Therefore, the words used here are Prashrayananta Kandara. Out of humility, he bowed down before the Kumara.
Yes, thank you. Prashriyanata Kandaraha Anata. So out of humility, he bowed down before the Kumaras. So when Acharya is seen, as I was mentioning that about the disciple and Prabhupada conversation, one should immediately bow down before him. So even though one may not feel immediate great feeling, attraction, but as an etiquette, as a tapasya of the body, as Krishna explains in the Gita, Shariram tapuchyate devad vijaguru pragna pujanam sochamarjavam brahmacharya himsa cha shariram tapuchyate. Shariram tapa, tapasya of the body. When we talk about tapasya, we have many ideas of tapasya. Definitely they are good, but the main tapasya of the Kaya Manasa Vacha is explained in Gita 14, 15, 16 of 17th chapter. So this tapasya we can practice, and also main tapasya of us is practicing 9 process of devotional service, especially the highlighting the Kirtan, Japa. That is the greatest tapasya of all. So there is also one Prabhupada quotes one Vedic statements. आराधितो यदि हरि तपसा ततः किम् आराधितो यदि हरि तपसा ततः किम् अंतर्बहिर्यदि अंतर्बहिर्यदि हरि तपसा ततः किम् न अंतर्बहिर्यदि हरि तपसा ततः किम् So, if one is able to see Krishna everywhere, then what is the need of tapasya? Means going to Himalayas, etc., etc. If he is unable to see, what is the use of going to Himalayas and fasting and fire, this and that, all kinds of tapasyas? If one is worshipping the Supreme Lord, then what is the need of any other tapasyas? So the tapasya of the body, especially, we are trying to discuss is that we need to respect the great personality. Deva, Dvija, Guru, Prajna, Pujanam. Worshipping the great personalities is tapasya for the body. And practicing devotional service, offering obeisances, these are all tapasyas. We need to exercise tapasyas. So tapasya makes us purify. Tapa is a heat. Is also considered like a heat. Heat purifies. Especially gold is purified by the heat. Similarly, we need to exercise, we need to practice these principles of offering obeisances to the Lord and the devotees, at least in the morning. Yashastri Sandhyam, Vishnu Thakur mentions at least 3 times in a day one should offer obeisances to spiritual master. So that's the injunction we need to practice. Out of humility, he bowed down before Kumaras. It's a great humility. He shows that how they are great personalities is mentioned here, out of humility. Yeah. We try to develop the feeling later on, but we need to exercise these aspects in terms of offering obeisances to great personalities. This is also one of the aspects of Shiva principles, respecting spiritual master at least thrice a day. So we learn from Prithu Maharaj is trying to instruct all of us how we should receive them. They should be given honor and respect and worship also. If possible, at least whenever some personalities come, or in home also, we should at least to Prabhupada. Sometimes we can worship Prabhupada's. First, in temple every day we worship Prabhupada, offering Guru Puja to him. That is also great souls. These are great souls, offering worship to them. So in that way we advance more. So he's continuing what he did when they came and received them. He kept on the altar in the sense he kept on the Vyasasan. Of course, you might have seen the photo how Prabhupada Maharaj received all the 4 Kamaras and he gave his own Vyasasan, kingly position, Rajasimhasan that he offered to them. So they were sitting on the top of. Then what he did? Tatpada socha salilair jitalaka bandhanaha tatra shilavatamritam acharan manayanniva.
I'll read, Prabhu. Oh, sorry, Mata, you can read.
Please read.
After this, the king took the water which had washed the lotus feet of the Kumaras and sprinkled it over his head. By such respectful actions, the king, as an exemplary personality, showed how to receive a spiritually advanced personality.
Exemplary personality shows how to receive a spiritually advanced personality. He is exemplary personality. He is showing that how to receive an advanced personality. So washing their feet. For Prabhupada is most focused on showed by how to receive acharan manayan niva. So this word Prabhupada took up and Shilavatam. So he is explaining how a king has to be exemplary in his activities. So yad acharate shrestha tat evetaro jana sayat pramanam gurute lokas tadanvartate. So how one should practice the leaders. So the leaders, especially the kings, what they do, how they conduct themselves, then normal people also follow. Then Prabhupada is, please read this purport, what beautiful purport, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Apani Achari Prabhu Jivere Sikhara." It is well known. It is very well known that whatever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught in his life as Acharya, he himself practiced. When he was preaching as a devotee, although he was detected by several great personalities to be the incarnation of Krishna, he never agreed to be addressed as an incarnation. Even though one may be an incarnation of Krishna, or especially empowered by him, he should not advertise that he is an incarnation. People will automatically accept the real truth in due course of time. Prithu Maharaj was the ideal Vaishnava king. Therefore, he taught others by his personal behavior how to receive and respect saintly persons like the Kumaras. When a saintly person comes to one's home, it is the Vedic custom first to wash his feet with water and then sprinkle this water over the heads of oneself and one's family. Prithu Maharaj did this, for he was an exemplary teacher of the people in general.
Prabhupada Maharaj teaching how he has to be received, how it should be exemplified. So Prabhupada writes this beautiful purport also in Bhagavad Gita, and how Ajit Rajarati Shrestha. So there he writes how one should be acting for the sake of teaching. People in general always require a leader who can teach the public by practical behavior. He also gives Chetan. He says the leader cannot teach public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Now Chaitanya said that the teacher should behave properly before he begins teaching. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya. Acharyati iti Acharya, or ideal teacher. Then he says about what his teachings based on, what he should teach. So he should teach based on Shastra, not his mental concoctions, etc. Then finally he says that the king or the executive head of the state, the father, and the school teacher are all considered to be natural leaders of innocent people in general. All such natural leaders have a great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with standard books of moral and spiritual codes. So these are the responsibilities. Pitana sasya janani sasya. So that verse, famous verse from Bhagavatam says about how the responsibility of the person who has dependents or children or the demigods, devatas, they should not take up that position unless they are having capability to deliver their dependents. Their father, mother, the relatives and the devatas. All these personalities that Bhagavatam was Pitana Sasya, Janani Sasya, Daivam Sasya, that verse says that how have a great responsibility basically. So they are like leaders. They have responsibility. So they are natural leaders. So they should try to be exemplary in all activities, so that others will follow. Whatever parents do, same things children also. Generally, as I generally they follow what the parents do. Many qualities they pick up what the mothers and fathers do. Uh, so that's how Prabhupada, in Prabhupada life also we can see how Prabhupada's father was every day he was worshipping the Lord. Early in the morning, in the evenings. In the evenings he was worshipping. He is very pious. He's inviting sadhus and feeding them. So such a behavior was very much observed and absorbed by Srila Prabhupada. So that's the effect of the parents' family on the children. So we try to at least an exemplary way we try to either the children or their followers, whoever it may be, the dependents. So that's how one should try to inspire others. Now, even Krishna says, Jara, I need to act exemplary way, otherwise whole society will go into havoc. I need to act exemplary way, though I don't have anything to do in this world. I don't have anything to do in this world, but still I act in the proper way. So that I am an example. I should not lead the whole population to Varna Sankara. So that's what he is taking. Krishna is taking responsibility of acting in exemplary way. So he doesn't have to act. So he doesn't have anything to act for. So then he is received, he was offered. I mean, they are all, especially here, Puthu Maharaj is washing their feet, sprinkling water, and showing exemplary way. See, in front of doing all this is all happening in front of everyone. All the citizens are there, and he's inviting them. He's keeping them on his own throne and washing their feet. Washing feet means very, very considered very menial service. Washing feet of others. Even Krishna did in last Yajna for the service of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So, but he was showing that the act how we should be receiving great souls. Okay. हाटाकासन आसीनान् स्वादिष्णेषु इव पावकान् श्रद्धा संयम्य संयुक्त प्रीतप्राह भावाग्रजान्.
I'll go ahead to.
Yes, please read.
Thank you. The four great sages were elder to Lord Shiva, and when they were seated on the golden throne, they appeared just like fire blazing on an altar. Maharaj Prithu, out of his great gentleness and respect for them, began to speak with great restraint as follows.
Both Shraddha, Samyama, Samyukta. With great respect and restraint, he is trying to, now he invited and then made them sit and worship them, offered their everything. Now he began to speak with respect and restraint. Otherwise, if we don't have restraint, His Grace Rashaprabhu sharing one incident. Those who are serving, especially the great souls, they should be respectful at the same time they should be restrained to not overdo certain things. Restraint means doing less, niyam agraha and niyam agraha. Both has to be maintained. Not doing anything, not receiving them, not respecting them, not offering whatever they need. That is also one kind of disrespect. And if you are too much interfering them, then it is also it's a kind of a disrespect or it's a disservice for them, especially great souls. He gave example that one time one great soul came to the temple and then the servant, he was going and asking every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, Maharaj, do you want something? Maharaj, do you want water? Maharaj, do you want to go outside? Or you want some? Maharaj wanted to do something tangible in his work, but he was often going and asking, are you okay? Do you need something? Then finally said, the Maharaj was mentioning that to him, give me your number. Whenever I need, I will call you. Don't disturb me. So this is, there should be restraint. There should be some restraint, understanding the mood, understanding the need. So one should have a restraint also. So both need some samyamya and shraddha, respect and restraint. So both one should maintain in terms of serving the great souls. So thereby proper service will be there. Otherwise, one will be displeasing them, not doing certain things and overdoing certain things. So of course, it not only applies to one this principle, but niyamagraha, it applies to many aspects of spiritual life, as mentioned by Rupa Goswami. So both has to be understood in order to properly advance niyamagraha. So what Prabhupada is focusing on that the Kumaras are described here as the elder brothers of Lord Shiva. That point is mentioned here. Bhavagrajan. Bhava is Lord Shiva, Agrajan, they are elder brothers. Then he explains about how they were born. We read in, I think, the third canto, how they were taken because of Brahmaji's anger. Lord Shiva was born, and they are like elders. Four Kumaras, first they born, but Manasaputra. But they disobeyed Brahmaji's order to expand the universe in terms of population, but they said we cannot do that. So because of that, then Brahmaji became angry, and then Lord Shiva took birth. That's how they are called Bhavakrajan elders. Okay, now Pruthruvacha. Now he's asking questions. After everything, after they given quite comfort, and then he's asking now the questions. So that's how one also can associate the devotees by asking, inquiring from them. That will be wonderful association. We need to inquire from great souls. That is the more we can gain from great souls by inquiring how to advance, what is happening in our lives, how we are progressing. We express our difficulties, or we can express our wonderful whatever we have done, some service to Prabhupada or some service to Vaishnavas. They will give more insights, more understandings, and etc. etc. So inquiry opens up many aspects. So here Guru Maharaj is asking here. Aho architam kim me mangalam mangalayanaha yasya vo darshanam his asid durdarshanam cha yogibihi. Continue.
Prithu spoke, my dear great sages, auspiciousness personified, it is very difficult for even the mystic yogis to see you. Indeed, you are very rarely seen. I do not know what kind of pious activity I have performed for you who graced me by appearing before me without difficulty.
He's humbling us. I don't know what I've done. I don't have any kind of qualification, but I received great treasure. And you are like a diamond. I am a beggar. I don't have any qualification, but I still received great thing. Just like a person who did not go to school getting a PhD, right? Sometimes because of their various contributions, though one may not be qualified to be given PhD or doctorate, they will be given doctorate or PhD because of other qualities, other contributions, etc. But if at all, if he doesn't have, if he's like a beggar, he's uneducated, but still he's given a doctorate. So he's considering like that. I don't have any qualification. But of course, this Prabhupada mentions this humility. Hey, bro, King Prithvi had such a great qualification, he could see even Vishnu only. What to speak of others? He had qualification, but this is the way, this is sign of humility Prabhupada speaks here. Please read both highlight portions.
Yes, Prabhu. When something uncommon happens in one's progressive life, it should be understood to be incurred by Ajnata Sukruti or pious activities beyond one's knowledge. To see personally, the Supreme Person of Godhead or his pure devotee is not an ordinary incident. Although Maharaj Prithu's life was full of pious activities, he was wondering how his audience with the Kumaras happened. He could not imagine what kind of pious activities he had performed. This is a sign of humility on the part of Maharaj Prithu, whose life was so full of pious activities that even Lord Vishnu came to see him and predicted that the Kumaras would also come.
So, Vishnu only told, Vishnu came and told, but still he was expressing his humility. So that's the nature of a great souls. This is one of the main symptoms of great souls. Whereas there is a real spiritual advancement is his parameter is humility, one of the main parameter of humility. All great souls think themselves Amara Jivan Sada Pape Rata Nahi Go Punne Alesha. Bhaktivinoda Thakur singing, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, and Artam Das Thakur is saying. So, yeah, these are all some symptoms of humility Prabhupada is expressing here. But the association, what we are getting is because of whatever Ajna Sukriti, whatever previous bhakti, little bit is there. Because of that only we are able to came in contact with great devotees. To see personality of Godhead or is pure. Yes.
One thing is I want to question. This word here mentioned, Prabhupada, Agnya Sukruti or pious activity with beyond one's knowledge. So how do you understand this, Prabhu?
Yeah. See, here Prabhupada is mentioning Sukruti or Agyata Sukruti, pious activities beyond one's knowledge. In the sense, we don't know what we have done in the previous life. Right now, one's knowledge means previous what we have done. We don't know now. We came to Krishna consciousness.
Okay. Okay, beyond one's knowledge in that sense, that it has been done in the
in that
past.
sense, yes.
Okay, I got it.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Agnata. Agnata means beyond one's knowledge. Agnata. Sukriti means pious activities beyond one's knowledge. Ajnata. Gnata means known. Ajnata is unknown or beyond one's knowledge in that sense. So, but we can always be grateful that because of whatever devotees association in the last life, because bhakti sanjayate bhakti, because whatever little bit bhaktionmukta sukriti, whatever we had in last life, that because of great souls, either we heard the holy name or we have taken prasadam from the great souls, or there we have seen darshan of the great souls, we have served somewhere, we have given donation to, just like a Sukriti, just to give example, just like Adani or Birla or whoever the great people, rich people, you keep on giving donation to so many institutes. So if they happen to giving that becomes piety, charity to pious people, etc. All other institutes they may give, but because ISKCON is also one of the institute in the list, they also give to ISKCON. But because they are giving to especially pure devotional activities, Prabhupada and ISKCON is because focused on not just piety, but pure devotional service, they get a Sukriti of bhakti. So that's how once accumulates starts Bhaktonmukha Sukriti. It's not just piety which can ripen in the Swarga enjoyments, etc., or a healthy body, etc. But they will get more bhakti unmukh sukriti. They will get further and further in pure devotional service, or at least the chances to come in contact with pure devotees more and more. So that's how the bhakti sukriti starts. So that's how we come in contact, though we didn't have any desire, nor we are longing, may not be all of us, but at least me. I never thought of doing all this bhakti or 16 rounds or following regulated principles and going back to Godhead, like all studying Bhagavatam and all. Nowhere in the radar at all. But by the mercy of all Vaishnavas, especially by Prabhupada's mercy. So that's why Prabhupada mentioning his pure devotee is not an ordinary incident. All this incident, all this whatever is happening is not an ordinary incident. It is all great mercy of the Lord and his devotees. So by regularly understanding, contemplating on these aspects will give us more and more nourishment to the heart. That's what Prabhupada's main point is the humility that we need to humbly remember. This is a sign of humility, remembering all these things. Oh, what I have done by the grace of mercy and Krishna's and Prabhupada's special mercy. That's how we exercise our heart more and more. So head and heart has to be exercised both. So reasoning for the head and seasoning of the heart. Reasoning of the head means we need to have some reasoning, understanding the philosophy has to be there. Siddhanta kurite nakore alas, chitte nakore alas. So reasoning to the head, seasoning of the heart. Seasoning of the heart means so understanding all these wonderful aspects, what happened in our life is a seasoning of the heart. Seasoning has two connotations. Seasoning of wood also, seasoning of the food also. Seasoning word is applied to food and food both. Seasoning wood means you understand, especially teak wood and all, they have to season. Means they have to keep in a certain atmosphere for certain time, for long time, so that it becomes seasoned. Seasoned means it isn't distorted by the seasons, either winter, summer, rainy season. The wood it will have its own shape. The chair will remain chair. It will not become a table. Generally, some wood, if it's very cheap wood, if you make a table, it become a chair, or if a chair it says become a table. So like that. Otherwise, wood has to be seasoned. Every wood has to be seasoned before it is applied. So similarly, our heart also has to be seasoned. It should not be disturbed by seasonal changes in our external life or internal life. our heart has to season properly. So it's always a season properly to respond to spiritual stimuli, not to the material stimuli. And seasoning of food means seasoning of food used in terms of flavoring it. Every the mothers knows how they put kotumbir, dhania powders, etc., etc. Seasoning of the food are little flavors, chocolate flavor, vanilla flavors to sweets, giving a food to special taste to food. So seasoning of the heart also, the special flavors has to be added, exercised, gratitude, humility, service attitude. These are all more of a seasoning of the heart. So that's how we become more and more reasoning to the head and seasoning of the heart. Both has to happen. So we are discussing about how by the great Sukruti, the Ajnana Sukruti, by the mercy of Vaishnavas, we are coming in contact with the great souls. That's what Purdu Maharaj is mentioning. I don't have any qualification, but by the mercy of you, I have this opportunity to be in your association. That's what he is mentioning to Sanat Kumaras, Gaur Kumaras. Okay, so 8th verse. What is the point of the verse is Aho Acharitam Kim Meya, what I have done. Even our Akrura, when he was going to meet Krishna and Balram, he was thinking, what I have done. Kim Maya Jagatam Bhadram, Kim Taptam Paramam Tapaha, Kim Atava Arhate Dattam Yadrakshami Keshavam. I am going to see Supreme Lord, what I have done, what tapasya, what activities. So that's the nature of great souls. We need to exercise these emotions also, as I was mentioning. Okay, Kim Tasya Durlabhataram Iha Loke Paratra Cha Yasya Viprah Prasidanti Shivo Vishnu Sanuga. Is it? Translation?
Yes, please. Oh, 8, right?
Yeah, 8th one.
Because your slide is not moving.
My screen is not seen?
Yeah, that's it. Any person upon whom the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas are pleased can achieve anything which is very rare to obtain in this world, as well as after death. Not only that, but one also receives the favor of the auspicious Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu to accompany the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas.
So this is the amazing. Actually, these verses, initial verses, of course, these whole sections of Prithu Maharaj is very, very nourishing. More and more we discuss, talk, share, contemplate. The principles of bhakti, pure devotional service, are very much stressed here. So how pleasing Vaishnavas is the topmost thing. If they are pleased with us, nothing else is remaining to obtain. Right? Like if we attain Chintamani or if we attain Jim, then what else we need? So everything is achieved. That's what he's mentioning. Prithu Maharaj is himself is mentioning. Glorifying the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. If they are pleased, then what else is there to achieve? So that's what he's feeling. That's what he's understanding. That is a bhakti principle also. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado, yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. So both ways we can understand. If you please, everything will happen. If you displease them, everything can be collapsed. Displeasing them means offensive behavior. If you pleasing them, we can get everything. If you displease them, we can lose everything. Of course, many of you heard many stories maybe regarding this aspect of pleasing and displeasing Vaishnavas, and displeasing Vaishnavas, doing offenses to Vaishnavas, etc. So we should take opportunity to please them, not displease them, especially great souls, the spiritual master and the acharyas, the great Vaishnavas who visit our homes or visit our temples, etc. So here two examples are discussed in Yasya Prasada Bhagavad Prasado, Yasya Prasada Nagati Kutopi, in terms of Madhavendra Puri was a spiritual master, Ishwara Puri and Ramchandra Puri were two disciples. So Ishwara Puri pleased him, Madhavendra Puri, and Ramchandra Puri was displeasing him. So, Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasada. Ishwarapuri became spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Ramchandra Puri was criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's how the thing happened. So, by pleasing them, one can achieve the Supreme Lord himself. Narada, as a boy, pleased the Vaishnavas, and Ramchandra Puri displeased the Vaishnavas. Even Supreme Lord also. So he lost his spiritual life also. So pleasing the Vaishnavas is very much glorified. In fact, Prabhupada writes a statement that worshipping the devotee is more important than worshipping the Supreme Lord. I think in first canto, 9th chapter, Vishmadev section. That's how the position of Vaishnavas and rituals is kept. Even Krishna glorifies the Vaishnavas. So this is a beautiful verse comes in one of the commentaries that Siddhir Bhavati Vaneti Samshayo Achyut Sevina. Whether we get result or not, final result, Siddhi, perfection, whether we'll get or not, it's doubtful. For whom? Achyuta Sevina, those who worship the Supreme Lord. If we are worshipping Supreme Lord, whether we get the perfection or not, it's doubtful. But Nishamshayo, Nishamshayastu, Tad Bhakta Paricharya Ratatmana. But definitely one will attain perfection. Nishamshaya, there is no doubt. Tad Bhakta Paricharya Ratatmana. Those who are engaged in the Paricharya Ratatmana, one who is attracted to service of the devotee, attached to the serving devotees, will definitely attain perfection. So that's the position is given to devotees and devotional service. Vaishnava Seva. So that's importance, especially in bhakti process. Yes, that's what mentioned here. Beautiful verses. But to glorify Vaishnava Seva, Prabhupada also very much mentioning here, the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are the bearers of Lord Vishnu. Why? Why they are very much glorified? Why they should be served? Yeah, because they carry Vishnu in their hearts. That famous verse from first canto that Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantastven Gadabhrata. Because they carry Gadabhrata, the Supreme Lord who carries Gada, is there in their hearts. Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. They even make the Tirthas as Tirthas. They make Tirthas as Tirthas. Otherwise, they are not Tirthas. The holy places becomes actual Tirtha when the devotees go there. When we associate with them, then they become actual Tirtha Yatra. Yeah, so Prabhupada mentioned because they carry the Supreme Lord in their hearts. That's why we should serve them, associate with them, ask them, please them. That's what he's mentioning. So by pleasing the spiritual master, who is both Brahmana and Vaishnava, one pleases Supreme Personality Godhead. If Supreme Personality Godhead is pleased, then one has nothing more to achieve either in this world or after death. So that's the glory of pleasing the Vaishnavas. Because they carry. So the Supreme Lord is pleased. Can I give one example how one pleased the devotee? And that's how Supreme Lord is pleased. Any example, whatever, apart from what I mentioned, anything that you remember? From anywhere. Somebody pleased the devotee, thereby he achieved the mercy of Lord or any other special benediction. Any example you remember? Pleasing the devotees, pleasing the Vaishnavas. Any example, anything that you remember?
Indra did not respect his spiritual master, so the demons attacked him and the kingdom was taken. Indra, he did not respect the spiritual master.
Indra example, opposite example you are giving, Indra.
It's opposite.
Okay. So Indra, we discussing that Indra did not respect his spiritual master, so he lost everything. Okay. Good. Who pleased devotees, and thereby he could receive many blessings and many wonderful benedictions. You know, the story comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, how Vakreshwar Pandit was served by this Devan Pandit. Devan Pandit was almost like an impersonalist, and he offended even Srivas Thakur. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very disgusted with him. But this Devan Pandit once served Vakreshwar Pandit and he pleased so much. And thereby, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also later on he transformed so much. Devan Pandit transformed by serving the Vaishnavas. Therefore, he attained special blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Yes. As Mataji raised hand, Yogini Priya Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji Radharani pleases Durvasa Muni, and Narad Muni also pleases the um, Vaishnavas that
Bhaktivedanta.
came to the ashram.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we are discussing about devotees. Definitely, this also applies that of course, Radharani doesn't need any blessings, but still, she she was serving Durvasa Muni, gave special benedictions. Yeah.
The in the Mahaprakash Lila, the maid servant was serving, and Mahaprabhu gave her the name Chuki. Duki. Duki was serving serving, and she got
Ah, yes, this is also a very good example. Dukki was serving devotees. She was just assisting behind. She was not coming in front and worshipping the Lord or Abhishek to the Lord. But just because she was serving the devotees, Lord is so pleased with her. Yes, very good. Rishi Kumar, the last one.
I remember Prabhu, from the Ramayana, the story of Shabri, when she went to Matang Rishi's ashram. Externally, she was serving the servants of Matang Rishi, and Matang Rishi was very. Finally, Matang Rishi said that Lord will come and bless you.
Correct. Yes. So Matangri, they all went. She was not asking, hey, you are all going, or why you are keeping me here? So she inquired, hey, Lord will come. They said, for you especially Lord will come because you have such a great devotion and you served here. You did a lot of tapasya. Because of devotion, Lord will come. Please wait. They have to say like that. So she was very pleased by that. She stayed back. So yeah. So pleasing Vaishnavas should be one of.
Prabhuji, that Raghunath Das Goswami, that Dahi Chida, he pleased the Vaishnava. What
Very
mercy
good.
on
Yeah. That's also beautiful story. How Nathas Goswami pleasing all the Vaishnavas, cooking so many wonderful things. Well, Lord Nityananda Prabhu is so pleased by serving Vaishnavas. In fact, he mentioned also, because you pleased all Vaishnavas, you are going to deliver by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He didn't say that, oh, because I am pleased, I am delivering you. No, because you pleased all Vaishnavas, because of their blessings. Chaitanya is filled with this many stories like this. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Nityananda Prabhu also saying to other devotees that please bless them, like that. Okay, thank you so much. I think it's already 4:34. So definitely it's a starting section. We are only have done, but many important themes were there. That's why I took a little more time for purports, and we'll go a little faster later on in the upcoming sections. Okay, thank you so much. We'll pause here for today. Tomorrow we'll meet at 2:30.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. It was very enlightening sessions. It was
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hope we'll meet 2:30 only. No? Today it became a little late.
Yes,
Joining and
tomorrow
all.
also. Yeah. Oh, you'll be taking this whole section, few chapters?
Yeah, I was told to take this section till 24. Take it.
Okay. Yes. Nice. Yes. Nice. Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada की जय, ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो शान्तिकोटि वैष्णव की जय. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.